Miss Okpala. Anambra State government calls for the silting of gutters across the state. UN takes proactive measures to protect rights of migrants. On the foreign scene, US warns against environmental disaster amid oil slick in Red Sea from ship hit by Houthis. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good evening and glad to have you join us on the news tonight. My name is Maureen Stone Enujoke. Anambra Governor's wife, Mrs. Nonya Soludo, has reassured that the state government will continue to support the treatment procedures of Ms. Tanya Okpala to help her get back to her feet in the soonest period. The governor's wife, who stated this when she visited the facility where Ms. Okpala is currently being taken care of, disclosed that she has a particular interest in Tanya's case and was impressed with the pace of her recovery. Correspondent Daniel Ezigwe now reports.
Mrs. Soludo promised that immediately the ex-tennis star is certified completely fit, she will be actively involved in the healthy living crusade to lead education on the dangers of drugs and substance use. The governor's wife also ordered books and other learning tools that Ms. Okpala takes interest in and promised to continue to reach out to her as she nears full recovery. Earlier, the chief medical officer of the facility said that Ms. Okpala has neared 98% recovery, with the only thing left being social rehabilitation, that is, getting her reintegrated into the society. For Ms. Okpala, who shared long chats with the governor's wife, said that Mrs. Soludo's complete involvement in her recovery shows that she is a mother who looks out for everyone's good. She thanked the governor's wife for her commitment towards her case and promised to use her story to educate people who have found themselves in similar situations.
In a bid to ensure that proactive actions are taken to avert inland flooding, Anambra State government has called for the silting of gutters all over the state as the rainy season sets in. A release signed by the Commissioner for Information, Sapon Musu, states that this is contained in a circular issued by the State's Commissioner for Environment, Dr. Felix Odimegu, mandating every market, estate, park, layout, neighborhood, street, school, church, abattoir, shopping complex, plaza, and all public spaces to desilt and evacuate all silts with immediate effect from Friday, 23rd February to Friday, 15th March 2024. According to the circular, being that the Public Health Law 2006 mandates that all owners of property must keep their drainages free of encumbrances or silt and sand and allow for free drain water through the canals and drainages. The statement disclosed that enforcement and prosecution shall commence in due time with severe penalty to the offenders as stipulated in the relevant laws. It observed that the year 2023 recorded reduced flooding and zero fertility as a result of proactive deliberate intervention by the state government to desilt all major drainages, waterways, canals, and gutters, and stressed the need to maintain a clean, green, healthy, and sustainable environment in Anambra State. Mmaibu Empowerment Foundation, MEF Worldwide, has unveiled their Skill Acquisition Center at the Center for Arts, Culture and Humanities, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. The unveiling ceremony, organized by Mmaibu Empowerment Foundation in collaboration with Directorate of Center for Arts, Culture and Humanities, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, attracted students, staff of the university, members of Mmaibu Empowerment Foundation, traditional rulers, political appointees, and other lovers of culture, and was held at the university premises. Education correspondent Queen Aniwogu found the report.
Foundation is a non-governmental organization established for the promotion and transformation of Igbo cultural heritage, values, identity, and dignity through skills acquisition and youth empowerment. The Chief Executive Officer and Director General, Mmaibu Empowerment Foundation, Comrade Uzo Ekemezie, explained that these identities and values are going into extinction among Ndi Igbo and requires immediate action for restoration, include high regards for Igbo attire, speaking and writing Igbo language, Igbo apprenticeship system, Igbo creative ability, industrious undertakings, and high tests for decency, both in public and private. Comrade Ekemeze revealed their core objectives to include restoring the failing values, identity, and the pride of Ndi Igbo through attitudinal reorientation, skills acquisition, a multi-taxing productive business enterprise, and provision of necessary assistance for youth's economic and financial independence, as well as repositioning participants in their skills acquisition trainings to train others.
Participation in the training periodically and monitor the participant progress until their graduation to ensure full compliance to the foundation training guideline. After such training and skill learning, Maibo Empowerment Foundation empowered these participants with basic tools that are relevant to the skill they acquire to enable the trainee to start up small and medium-scale enterprise.
In his remarks, the Vice Chancellor of UNIZIK, Professor Charles Esimone, promised to look into the request of the foundation and noted that Maibo should be seen from the higher pragmatic view of the continued relevance of the Igbo people in the highly competitive national and global economies of the digital 21st century.
What we are doing here today is therefore very gladly. The Maibo Foundation has come to this realization and is making concerted efforts to sell the same to our people.
In her speech, the director of Center for Arts, Culture and Humanities, UNIZIK, Oka, Professor Nkechinyere Nwokoye, said it is a great day in the history of the Center for Arts, Culture and Humanities of the university as a new horizon of knowledge and skills acquisition is being launched within the institution.
Empowerment Foundation, so as to help people within and outside the university community and at a better work.
The Anambra State Commissioner for Culture, Tourism and Entertainment, Mr. Don Onyenji, disclosed some of the efforts of the state government aimed at promoting Igbo culture and tradition, like the establishment of the Ministry of Culture, which is profiling many cultural heritage sites across the state. For the Vice President, Ohaneze Ndi Igbo Worldwide, Chief Damian Okeke Ogene, Igbo culture brings discipline. He commended UNIZIK and Maibo Foundation for their efforts in promoting Igbo language and culture and asked them not to relent. Guest of the honor at the event, Dr. Dennis Ekemeze, in an interview spoke on how the foundation runs, monitoring of the beneficiaries, noting that the skill acquisition and empowerment is not political but real to salvage Igbo youths from social vices and make them self-reliant. The event featured breaking of kola nut by the traditional ruler of Nise community, Igwe Romanos Ilo, unveiling of the temporary site of the Maibo Empowerment Foundation, among others.
The Managing Director, Anambra Broadcasting Service, Sachido Obidegu, has charged a non-governmental organization, All for Women Initiative Nigeria, AWIN, to campaign vigorously for an attitudinal change among women to end the maltreatment most of them mete out on the children of their fellow women who are under their care. The ABS boss gave the charge when he received a delegation of AWIN who visited Anambra State ahead of the 2024 International Women's Day that will be celebrated globally on 7th of March this year. Chibuzo Obidike reports is taken from our studio.
The delegation, Sachido, who acknowledged that summit that will be hosted by the AWIN on the day of the International Women's Day celebration, is apt considering the increased rate of child abuse and other forms of domestic violence in the country, suggested that emphasis should be made for women to make attitudinal change on the way they treat children living with them, as this is the foundation for creating a better society for the women and the girl child. Sachido also called their attention to the increasing rate of failing marriages and divorce while assuring them of the cooperation of the ABS to advance their advocacy, as the station has remained the voice of the voiceless and the identity of the Southeast.
When you do your campaign and communication about this vulnerability, you also speak to fellow women, because domestic violence, you act against from females to females. The man is hardly there, female to children. And these are the two. The man is hardly there in the house, but most often he's on the street, trying to feed the family. But it's women, what some women do too. So major part of your campaign is for women to try to take other people's children and treat them as their own children.
Presenting their manifesto and template to the ABS MD, the founder of the NGO, Comrade Stella Iboka, revealed that AWIN is a non-governmental organization committed to harnessing the potential of different sectors of the economy for the growth and development of women, the girl child, and vulnerable children in the country through advocacy and other initiatives. Comrade Iboka further revealed that the group is driven by the vision to realize a society where the dignity, rights, and virtues of womanhood are protected and preserved, and solicited for the collaboration of the ABS in its efforts to help reduce the rate of abuses against women and the vulnerable in Nigeria through regular strategic public engagement and women education. Comrade Iboka intimated the ABS Managing Director on their upcoming summit slated for 7th March 2024 to mark International Women's Day with the theme Gear Up, Aspire, and Win, featuring lectures and interactions with major women leaders drawn from the 21 council areas of the state and beyond.
Our members drawn from within and outside this country, perhaps diaspora members also. And of course, we are about celebrating the International Women's Day globally. And of course, we are doing it in Nigeria. We are going to step it down to Anambra State. That's why we thought it wise to organize a summit where we will organize some professionals, especially women, to come together for us to assess our achievements, our journey so far, and of course, encourage ourselves and strengthen ourselves.
Anambra State chapter of the Scout Association of Nigeria has embarked on roadshow in celebration of its Founders' Day, beginning at St. Peter's Parish, Amobia. Members of the association from various parts of the state had a brief stop at Awka South Local Government Area Headquarters, Amobia, where the Transition Committee Chairman, Honorable Thank God Anago, addressed them and offered financial support. Correspondent Joseph Ebocha found the reports.
His remark, Honorable Anago noted that the effect of poor child upbringing is negatively affecting present-day society and urged members of the association to remain good examples in their conducts and their leaders to remain steadfast in proper training of the younger generation. He promised to enroll in the Scout to enable him join others in impacting more positively on the younger ones, saying that catching them young for proper training will help in addressing moral decadence in the society.
These kids are their training, and they're making them understand the constitution, how to make them up and train them to be children in the future.
At Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS Headquarters, Awka, where the roadshow terminated, the Anambra State Scout Commissioner, Mr. Innocent Egwato, said this year's event was unique as it was the first time the Scout Council was partnering with the ABS for the purpose of working in synergy in uplifting programs geared towards youth development in line with Governor Chukwuma Soludo's project of making Anambra livable and prosperous. He urged members to always reflect good qualities for which the Scout is cherished and expressed hope that those elevated to various positions in the association will help in galvanizing needed personalities and resources for the purpose of revamping Ellen State Scout movement for the betterment of the younger generation.
I believe from his own experience and commitment, Awka will come back to life. Awka is stable. The State Council will be stable.
Contributing, Chief Patrick Nweke, who said he enrolled in the Scouts since 1956 when he was in Standard 4, said the association has helped him excel in life. He, however, regretted neglect of the association from all tiers of government, a development he said has contributed to the moral decadence in the society.
Federal government, state government, local government, even in action, to Scouts, when I went area, Nayo, Nayosa. Open all when on government, Mana, Umaka Mova, Yawundu, Yachat, not Niru, Vanilla, Yawundu Scotaka.
Highlight of the ceremony was the installation of Engineer Godwin Arono as the president of patrons and patronesses of the Scout Association of Nigeria, Anambra State Chapter, and the appointment of Mr. Raymond Nwasolum as the provincial commissioner, Awka province of the association, both of whom promised to render selfless services. founder and chief scout of the world, Lieutenant General Sir Robert Stevenson Smith Powell, was born in February 1857, died in January 1941 at the age of 84, and was buried in Nyeri, Kenya. In Awka, Joseph Ebocha reporting for ABS News.
According to the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights are universal, indivisible, and inalienable, and should be protected at all times, irrespective of race, status, gender, or color. This, however, is usually not the case, especially with the increasing number of international migration, both regular and irregular, making it almost impossible for the rights of these migrants to be protected as it should be. It is on this backdrop that the PROMISE project of the United Nations Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, OHCHR, came into being to promote, protect, and advocate for the rights of migrants.
Interacting with journalists in Abuja on the project and its success in the past, the regional representative human rights Robert Kuchani said the project is in its third phase and Nigeria is one of the 9 pilot countries in Africa benefiting from it. He said he and his group were in Nigeria to meet with relevant stakeholders, including the press, to seek ways of collaboration to address issues around the rights of migrants. Mr. Kuchani said the essence of the meeting with journalists stems from the fact that the media is a critical stakeholder needed in journey of sensitization around migration and the need for them to report from an informed viewpoint.
Always remember that the person you are handling are human beings and they have rights. If you are to deport somebody back to his or her country, you do that in a manner which is consistent with his person as a human being. So that's the key message we are putting across. Then how to handle migration, how to reduce the country of origin. Migration carries a lot of benefits, but it has to be managed in a manner which is consistent with human rights. See, there's nowhere in the world where you only see citizens of that country. No, there's always a mixture. But of course, there are also problems that migrants can bring. But for us, we're looking at the human rights aspect of migration, and we are encouraging states to just implement policies that they have put in place, which command that migrants are treated with a human rights-based approach.
A human rights officer from the West African Regional Office, Eureka Kabila Button, who told the success story of the project, said they have done several things to support the technical group of countries, including building capacity of staff to enable them deal with migrants without discrimination or stigmatization.
Some of the work that we do touches on issues of advocacy, supporting the engagement between the states in which the project is implemented and the UN human rights mechanisms, especially the UN Committee on the Rights of Migrant Workers, to ensure that these states are able to implement the provisions of the Convention on the Rights of Migrant Workers and also follow up on the recommendations when they do report to this committee.
In Abuja, Princess Ekwi Ajide reporting.
The United States military has warned of an environmental disaster after an attack by Yemen's Houthi rebels on a cargo ship caused an oil slick in the Red Sea. The Iran-aligned group hit the United Kingdom-owned Belize-flagged bulk carrier Rubimar on February 18 with multiple missiles. It was sailing through the Bab al-Mandab Strait, which connects the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden on its way to Bulgaria after leaving Khor Fakkan in the United Arab Emirates. U.S. Central Command confirmed that the ship was now anchored but slowly taking on water, which it said has caused a 29-kilometer oil slick. According to reports, the vessel was transporting more than 41,000 tons of fertilizer when attacked, the military said, which could spill into the Red Sea and worsen this environmental disaster. The Houthis continue to demonstrate disregard for the regional impact of their indiscriminate attacks, threatening the fishing industry, coastal communities, and imports of food supplies. Heavyweights Nigeria and Cameroon fought to a 0-0 draw in the 2024 Women's Olympic Football Tournament third round, first leg encounter in Douala yesterday. The nine-time champions of Africa took the pitch with their usual dash and gloss and forced consecutive throw-ins. Yet, the game would become a ding-dong as time wore on, and in the 27th minute, midfielder Tony Payne wasted a good opportunity to put Nigeria ahead. 12 minutes later, the indomitable Lionesses caught sight of goal, but goalkeeper Chamaka Nadozie, one of the world's safest pair of hands, at the moment had things covered. In the second half, the Lionesses stepped up the game as they were urged on by the home crowd at the Stade de la Reunification Douala. Yet it was Nigeria that had the ball in the next 5 minutes into the second half, only for Ugandan referee Shamira Nabada to rule Jennifer Echegini offside. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page, follow us at Anambra Broadcasting Service, subscribe to our YouTube at ABS Television Oka, on X at ABS Radio TV, and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And now a recap of the main points. Wife of Anambra State Governor Mrs. Soludo has reassured government's continued support for treatment of Ms. Okpala. Anambra State government has called for the silting of gutters across the state. UN has taken proactive measures to protect the rights of migrants. US has warned against environmental disaster amid oil leak in Red Sea from ship hit by Houthis. And just before we go, the special message again. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. And that does it on the news for tonight. Thank you so very much for watching. My name is Maureen Stone Enujoke. Good night and stay blessed.